Okay, did you miss me? I think we're live. Okay, you really have to bear with me. I'm pretty sick. I've got, I believe, laryngitis, uh, probably as a result of my sinus infection just kind of spreading. I'm not quite sure, but it's caused swelling. God, my phone. Swelling of my throat. Yesterday, I could not get out of bed, and I meant to tell you guys I wouldn't be here, but I fell asleep with my phone in my hand and woke up like 13 hours later. It was pretty nuts. I was trying to type that as a message, so I apologize. It just sort of disappeared without notice. Um, I can't believe I stayed in bed and slept for about 22 hours. Uh, Doing these marathon streams of 17 hours in a row and then back-to-back 12 hours, that really takes it out of me, especially when I'm sick. So I'd hoped that all I had to do was last one more day with this, Oregon's heat wave, and then I could get some rest. But it looks like California now is having serious problems, so I'm going to get right to it. We've got back-to-back new fires starting, a couple in eastern Oregon, Dufur and Cottonwood Canyon on the Sherman and Gilliam side. So Highway 206 is closed in the Gilliam County side. I guess it straddles the border. They're in eastern Oregon. Got a couple there. Dufur has some evacuations. Also in Northwest California, what my thumbnail is the high divide cam, and you can see that the north wind is really fanning stuff up. It tends to be pretty hot and dry coming from Southeast Oregon's desert in general. So hold on to your butts. I did a little bit of digging around. This is 15, let's do a 30-minute time lapse though. I did a little bit of digging around, and the 3-9 fire of the South complex, not the Smith River one, but the South Lightning Complex, the one by the Hoopa Indian land and east of Fortuna and Eureka. The 3-9 fire is the one that is giving them problems down there and is racing towards the south. That was the update just before 2 p.m. or so. And I wanted to go live right about then, but I couldn't really see too many structures at all that were in the way. So it didn't seem like that was an emergency situation. I tried to get as much info as I could. I don't think any cameras are looking at it. We've got a couple down there, and we'll try to get eyes on it. But in reality, we may just be able to see the pilot fire that's to the west. I don't think we'll have direct eyes on the 3-9. Hey, Michael's Adventures, hello, and Christopher Luttrell, hello. How was my day off yesterday? I don't know. I slept through it. I woke up at 3:30 in the morning, and so now it's 3:15 p.m. and I'm actually exhausted. I would love to just crawl in bed. I was hoping I could do a roundup of the fires. There was some good news. Oregon got a little bit wet. I woke up and it was a little bit misty out and stuff, but I think we're going to have a bit of an active fire day, unfortunately. So I'm sorry, my tongue is swollen, and in the back, my teeth are colliding with my tongue, and so I'm talking like a drunk person. I swear to God, I'm not. I am just kind of sick, a little bit feverish and out of my head, though. But I'm competent enough to do the basic wildfire stuff. Just don't ask me about any complicated math questions right now, please. Hey, Wine Country, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a bit. Brian Spice says, I hope you heal up quickly. Thanks, me too. Whenever I say, oh, I hope I could do a quick roundup and go to bed, you know what happens, so I'm not going to say that. Randall Smith says, hi, out sick orders. See you back next. Okay, yes. I told Smitty had a procedure today, and he still wanted to moderate, and I'm like, no. I've threatened to strip him of his mod powers if he shows up and moderates today. Like he's hurting his own health, Besides, I'm here. I can moderate. Double shot of Theraflu. Yeah, I've actually sucked down half a bottle of honey, and the rest is starting to crystallize. So I'm not going to do what my mom did, though. I have a hilarious photograph of my mom. She heard that if you stick the honey bottle, like the little teddy bear version, into a microwave, and just for a few moments, that it'll just uncrystallize the honey. And she melted the whole bear. It looked really gruesome to see a honey bear, but half of its face black and melted off, and then it's just stuff of nightmares. So I'm not going to do that. Okay, so even though we can't see all the fires that are being pretty active in Northern California, this high divide lets you know where the wind is blowing in the direction, blah, 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 blah. Now, what was running to the south is the 3-9 part, and this time lapse from the other night. This is what it looks like at night to people. It's really scary. The things like the Wild Frontier are just socked in with smoke. God, even more watch duty. Holy crap. Okay, what's that? Other fires I really wanted, I could have gone live early this morning. And so I waited for the other fires to get their morning updates in, especially ones we really need information on, like the Cougar, Rattlesnake, Tyee, Night House thing. We still got nothing from them, even though we have a couple other morning updates. Okay, we've got a fire that's new. Let me see where it is. It says Edgewood Road, Bay Area, just south of San Mateo. So that's on the cams. Little to no smoke visible on the cameras. So instant command is canceled. Incoming aircraft. Okay. So that's actually looking good. Finally, a little bit of good news. But I want to go to the new situations in Eastern Oregon that are calling for evacuations real quick, and then we'll go back and look at California, because despite the north wind, and hold on to your butts tomorrow, there's a red flag for California from Redding to Sacramento. Right now it's not great fire situation. Despite what's happening in California, I don't see a lot of correct me if I'm wrong. I've been clicking around. There's like reduced evacuations for parts of the head fire. And so I don't see that they're doing an active. I don't see, looking at my watch duty updates, any new calls for new evacuations, just kind of status updates. And I did see two DC-10 planes heading, here's a DC-9. Excuse me, DC-9s. See, I'm not good with math right now. And they were going west of Myrtle Creek, halfway there, and I don't know why. I don't know why watch duty's not showing a new fire there. But I've got the heat maps that does show something there. So I could be wrong, actually. I really thought they were over the Cougar Creek Lighthouse fire. This could be just an error. But like I said, we got almost no information there. So the new situations, 2 different fires in Eastern Oregon that have brand new evacuation information. We have, wow, the Canada's de Havilland DHC-8's coming for the Winslow Road fire. It didn't have a name the moment that I had clicked on this. So 32 minutes ago was a new fire. Wasco County Sheriff's Office says there was a level 3 evacuation go now order for Hicks Road, HIX, Duffer Gap Road, and Pole Road. Level 2, get ready, is for Ty, as in TYGH, Ridge Road, from the intersection of Duffer Gap Road to the intersection of Ty Ridge Road, Highway 197 intersection, and then they've got on alert everything east of Ty Ridge Road and Pole Road. So there's an actual map here, and hopefully the locals can just kind of check. Here is the watch duty link where you can get to the evacuation map. So for the Duffer fire, it's DURUF. Please check there. Hey, John Sater, Silver Shadow, and good to see some older familiar faces there. Okay, so we've got some high winds, sort of higher than usual. This would explain some of the stuff going on in Eastern Oregon. People don't realize that every day vegetation fires break out, especially in the drier months of the year. And for the most part, they never reach the news because unless there's a high wind day and it's kind of dry, local crews put them out and it just doesn't make the news. But whenever you have high winds, pretty much every vegetation fire can get out of control. So they all whack-a-mole pop up on high wind days, and people get a little bit alarmed and go, "Oh my God, is there like a crazy arsonist running around lighting tons of fires?" No, it's a high wind day, so the normal fires all get out of hand. For example, this Cottonwood Canyon fire um, uh, happened a little bit. Oh, that's the one that happened 12 minutes ago. Sorry, that's not the example. Thought it was. There was one that was a commercial fire that has just spread to vegetation. So this is kind of like when it happens. This is when house fires and backyard barbecue fires can really get out of hand. So we got somewhat of a strong west northwest wind. So most of these fires, this wind might try to push them to the east. So we've got Everbridge for what county is this? Sherman County. Please sign up for the alert so you can get notified about what this fire is doing. So um, there you go. I'm putting that into the description. Now, Code Red or Everbridge seems to be the alert systems different counties use, and they'll all choose different ones, of course. So, of course, there can't just be one. Now, I have to redo this window, and it's not wanting to resize so that I can close some tabs. Okay, there it is. Perfect. Okay, so it got a little bit soggy over by the Portland area, but I don't know the extent the rain reached. So did you guys have rain yesterday or anything that amounted to anything? Please let me know. Hey, C-Pro, thanks for being here. Keith Evans says, thanks for the coverage. Fall showed up here north of Seattle today, and it's a soaker. I'm so happy to hear that. I mean, there's so many fires that I couldn't even cover from basically in between Mount Hood and Mount St. Helens and Mount Adams, all the way up to Seattle. Whew, I'm glad. Now, some of this might be some kind of moist air that's come in. If you look at like the lookout fire and the cams, like just look at the clouds. Oh wow, that turned around. Death Ball Mountain is, what the hell direction is it looking? This is a movie, by the way. It's not freeze frame like these are. So like Smith Ridge right now, uh, there's a lot of kind of damp cloud type stuff going on. I don't know that it'll help at all because the winds are high. So we still haven't heard a lot for the lookout. I don't think they even have their morning update. I was looking at their update from yesterday. Yeah, here's Death Ball Mountain looking north instead of northeast as usual. Huh. Please turn the other way so we can see the horse fire and all that. Thank you. They've got their hands full with the horse fire. They have a hotshot crew trying to keep that new one from climbing up into elevation. So they've got a little bit of like zigzaggy roads above it, but that's going to be kind of difficult. So what was that one called again? The Horse Creek fire. They're struggling with the east end of it, and it's no surprise because they've got this huge like wind tunnel drainage thing there and some terrain to deal with. Pothole, that's what it's called. They're really desperately trying to keep this from climbing up into the mountains. Like I said, see these roads? They've got some roads, some road access. The hot shot crew in there, but they need more resources, and those can't be provided till the Horse Creek is like under a bit of control. It is definitely their highest priority, higher than even fighting the lookout right now, because it's threatening McKenzie Bridge again. The lookout had some fire get towards Belknap Springs, and they're feeling even more confident though than ever about Belknap Springs, which sounded weird because I suppose what they wanted was fire to, on gentle terms, burn the ridge northwest of it, and apparently it just sort of naturally occurred. as far as I know. They really haven't gotten us any new updates from when I checked about an hour ago. I mean, they just had this little blip. They didn't have a video. So we'll wait for a video. One may not happen, but we'll see. So, hey, Terry, good to see you from UK. It was a little bit wet, especially on the Camp Creek fire, which is great. But Clackamas County has warned that it's not as good as you would think because there's so much old growth over there at the Camp Creek fire east of Portland in the Bull Run watershed that a lot of the moisture probably just wet the tops of the trees and it never made it down to the forest floor where they said there's tons and tons of branch buildup and duff and pine cones and dripped up sap and just years of this stuff because they haven't logged or cleaned it up or anything for decades. You know, they try to not do that around the water supply of Portland, but this is all that means is that these fires get crazy. It should have been put out within an hour or two, but they have huge amounts of dead limbs, decades of it on the forest floor and dead trees. So here we are. Nevertheless, it's like really was downright dewy and damp today, so that'll moderate it. I don't expect it to grow too much. So, but down here it's a different case. We got a Hercules that was working this Taylor Creek and Thunder Ranch fire, which was discovered a couple of days ago, but they didn't have any resources to really do much about it. I think that's where the DC-10 or DC-9s went as well. I think that was a weird bug that showed them in the middle of nowhere. We got Eye in the Sky. Um, I think that's not the correct track. Over by the lighthouse of Taib, but not over it. Oh, wait a second. This is 17,000 feet up. That's a mapping plane. Okay. So maybe it is just running around looking for fires and mapping things. So, excuse me. Let's go and we'll have to keep an eye on this. I want to see if there's a new update for anything going on in Dewford with the Winslow Road fire thing. 6 minutes ago, they said it's spreading rapidly in the wind. It's located south of Dewford and estimated to be over 300 acres already. Evacuations are in place. There's a Facebook from Wasco County Sheriff's Office. Let's put this over here to the right. It's just their general map of evacuations to do. Here is that Facebook link, by the way. Somebody is saying, praying it doesn't jump 197 and get into the Deschutes Canyon like it did in the South Valley fire of 2018. Yeah. People are asking if 197 is still open. I haven't heard of any road closures, but somebody else says another one just reported out by Cottonwood Canyon. Yeah, really bad day with the wind forecast. Exactly. So I do wonder if both it was a single ignition source and maybe like burning debris just spotted it out, you know. Okay, so that's whoops, I have structures on. I think it's that thing right there, due for Oregon. This guy. We put on wind. Come on, load. Come on, load. Okay, wind. Bueller, load. There we go. Yeah. Green is the lightest wind, and then you get to 20 plus miles an hour with the bright yellow and 30 with the orange. So hold on to your butts. That's going to run east and southeast. So I really don't know. I've been out here a couple of times, but not enough to really know the terrain or really tell you much about what potential this has. We just have to watch this. So this other one over here to the east, which one is that? Wait, that's, yeah, by the way, this is the current cam. Look, there's raindrops on it for Camp Creek. Oh, yeah, then there's a little bit of misty cloud stuff. So that one's on pause. That fire is on pause. That's good because they need to help Eastern Oregon right now. Sorry, where is the info? Then the Cottonwood is the one that's just running crazy out here too. Now this is, yeah, Cottonwood Canyon, the Wasco-Hettner Highway. I'm trying to remember if I've ever driven this. Almost everything looks the same, no, in central east, Oregon, east of the Cascades. Highway 2206 is closed on the Gillum County side. And we just don't have any updates, but it's got quite a huge, large heat signature, even larger than the one it do for right now. So that's pretty nightmarish. They don't have a lot of roads that go east and west, just north and south through the drainages, because the Missoula floods that ended the Ice Age, or at the end of the Ice Age, Eastern Oregon used to be kind of flat with all rich topsoil and, what probably wasn't even a desert. Well, that changed when massive floods, which carved out the Columbia River Gorge, stripped all of the topsoil away, and it carved really every single little river deep, and every creek is deep. And we're still dealing with that today, like the consequences, which means that the roads have to snake down so you can't even see the horizon. If and almost all these rivers flow south to north to meet the Columbia. So almost all the roads go north and south. There are very few opportunities to go east and west because it would be like bridge over huge canyon, bridge over huge canyon. Too expensive. And besides, a lot of times you don't want to drive at the top of these ridges because the crazy haboobs, I'll just say. Yeah, haboobs, meaning a dust storm like in the Middle East. Like, I thought our van we were driving out there was going to be flipped by a sudden dust storm with I think we had the van completely buried by tumbleweeds, and I was screaming because they kept impacting the van, covered all of the windshield, had to slam on the brakes, thought I was going to run into the back of a semi-truck, thought the semi-truck in front of me was going to be pushed over by the tumbleweeds. Like, you may not want to build roads up above the canyons. You don't have any cover there. Eastern Oregon is it's a tough room to play in. It's no country for old men, and I'm not man enough for it. So we'll keep an eye on those two fires in Eastern Oregon. Meanwhile, if you go down to California, let me try to pull the satellite back and put a different. It's hard to ever get a good map here that shows town names. But if you go to Eureka here, I have to check it again, but it was a 3.9 fire that was running south. And I think that's its heat signature because I zoomed in and it was running south towards this thing called Henry Ridge. I probably have to turn forest service back on. So I found it, Henry Ridge. This is sad that it's probably going to take over some historical sites. This is pretty steep and difficult to access. Put the shaded terrain stuff on. So I don't know how they're going to stop it if they can. We don't have direct eyes on this. When we look from the cams, this is a hay fork. We can't really see anything. Just too dang smoky. It's pretty far away. Hay fork, yeah, they may even change direction. So that's right. It's only when it rotates around can we really see it. So Bald Jesse has a different fire in view, and it's been kind of crazy today. with lots of activity. And Ball Jesse 2 is a different zoom level of the same thing. But like I said, not this is not the 3.9. I believe this is the one further west called, I think that's the Pilot. And this particular fire is the South Lightning Complex, the one that's by Eureka and east of Fortuna. But this gives us a great idea of just why it's off and running. It's that the north winds that are pushing it to the south. So it's in a canyon, and canyons are wind tunnels. But you would have high rates of spread for both things. I mean, if it's on the ridges, you're going to have a high rate of spread because fire loves to race along the ridge tops because the higher altitude winds are stronger. But when you have strong enough winds, like 25-mile-an-hour wind gusts like today, maybe 30, and that means some of the wind creates wind tunnels out of all the canyons. And so this is called slope and wind direction alignment. So, fancy terms. Here's your mountain ridge. It goes like this, or your canyon is up in north and south, right? So if you have a north or a south wind at maximum speed and spread, it's aligned, right? So it's a little bit different if you had your ridge line like this and you had north or south winds, then you don't get maximum speed. It's not the wind tunnel effect. It's the wind would be going up and over and up and over, up and down different mountains, and that's not as ideal. Here you can see it's aligned. So that's not a surprise, excuse me, that particular one's flaring up for that reason. I'm just going to clear my throat here. I got to mute. Okay. Yeah, Terry, let me go back up to all the chat here. David T says, I know Edgewood Road area, it's brushland, should be easy to put out. Okay. I put out a divider cigarette fire once with my bicycle water bottle. You're awesome. Okay. Yeah, very happy to help, Keith. And thanks all for being here. Oh, I forgot to put my PayPal donation link. Let me see here. To donate to PayPal. I totally forgot. Let's say I was live on Twitter. I can't be bothered right now. I want to go to bed. All right. Let's put on the TF Outdoors. I'll just let chat lead me. We gotta definitely look at the Eastern Oregon situation. And but what is the fire of your concern? Let's check them out. We've got heat detections, and I memorized some of these. This is probably the deep. This is by Whiskeytown Lake. We've got some heat detections. We're probably going to get them for nearly everything happening in California. The north wind is a little bit of a blessing for O'Brien and the Cave Junction area for the Smith River complex. We're seeing it flare up not only in that area, but also the western flank where it might be trying to get to Biscuit burn scar. This morning, Zeke Lunder's Lookout podcast thing, he was talking a little bit about that, and he said that the wind direction today would be helpful for that section of fire to be on pause, and hopefully it won't get into the Biscuit burn scar. He's not expressing this, at least not today, the same level of concern I am and Brokefish is about the screaming nightmare it would be for the fire to get in that burn scar. I think partially because he may not be aware of how difficult that fire was to fight. He specializes mostly in his knowledge base. I think he knows more about California. He's got extensive knowledge about the Sierras. But Brokefish, who actually was a firefighter who fought that thing, says, yeah, this would be a screaming nightmare. But since there's almost no roads all the way to where the flat fire is, that you could see a repeat is the worst case scenario of Oregon's biggest fire ever. So I'm not sure if he's completely aware of those factors, but it would be a hallelujah if there's any pause in this activity so that they could hopefully get some time to prepare the very last lines that they can. That would be easy, which is roads here. Now, looking at the town of Gaskee, which has always been, I've always been very, very worried for it. Seeing the fires closing on it from 3 different sides like a giant Pac-Man mouth, right? We've got fire very close to the town, at least heat detections right here. So Zeke Linder was also talking about how they had put fire purposefully on the mountain here to try to cool off when the main fire did arrive. That they wanted to, do that, and they have been doing that days prior, so that when the main fire arrives, that it's not as intense. But I am concerned to see these heat detections so dang close. Remember, this is margin of error, but right here in between, these are 2 different heat detections. So that means there is fire and heat right here somewhere. We don't have a direct look except for, let's see here. Well, where did I put this stuff? Wild Frontier. So I was really hoping we'd, see something, but this is a 30-minute time lapse, and it's too smoky to see almost anything. You can see a ridge kind of back here, and let's see which direction it's currently looking. I think Wild Frontier 1, yeah, it's looking over at the Gaskee area, but we can't see a dang thing. Wild Frontier 2 is looking south, and also can't particularly see a dang thing. Let's look. Yeah, great. Let's do a 30-minute. Yay. I really wish sometimes during the daytime they could flip the infrared thing on, but I don't know how useful it would be because, the sun's heat of the day can kind of interfere with it. But, we had good results when they did that with the Dixie Fire. They just had the special FLIR cameras that were color infrared. They work better in the daytime than this black and white stuff. Okay. David T says, looks like the Edgewood fire is put out or contained, right? Yes. Regina Corbin says, after 93 degrees yesterday to a nice night 71 currently. Yeah, it's kind of weird. In Portland, it's kind of nice, but it's also kind of horrible. Smoke isn't gone. It's just that the rain sort of, pushed some of it to the ground a little bit, but it's still there. And there's a dead calm, so there's a weird mugginess to it where the air's not quite fresh. It's kind of deceptive. I had my windows open this morning and decided, hell no, I'm shutting them again. It's not really fresh. It's now just super humid. Yeah, hey Devers, welcome. Jane, hello. Jane Blackford says evacuation notice on the South Fork per watch duty. Okay, let's check that out. Thank you for the update. Shoot, I keep pressing that on accident. And we have to definitely keep monitoring Oregon. Okay. The SRF, is it the South Fork? Is that meaning the, wait a sec. Oh, South Fork Lightning Complex, gotcha. Oh, as of a few seconds ago. That must have been what that beep was on my phone. Okay, so due to fire activity on the South Fork Complex, thank you. An evacuation warning has been issued for Henry Ridge and east of the Mad River. And this zone, which is south of Henry Ridge, north and east of the Mad River, please note that HUM-E114 has been split into 3 zones, A, B, and C. Excuse me, anyone in these areas should be prepared for potential evacs including personal supplies and overnight accommodations. Be ready to go at a moment's notice. And I want to make it abundantly clear. When you get a level 1 alert, don't ever expect that level 2 is going to come before level 3. Level 1 doesn't mean, oh, be alert and get ready to pack. Level 1 means start packing right now. And by the time level 2 hits, you should be done with your packing and you should be at the ready to leave. You should not be like, oh, I'll wait to start packing until level 2. Hell no. Level 2 is, by this point, you should have been packed already. And if you're at a level 2, you should consider level 2 means expect a level 3 to come. That's the best, most positive way to look at it. And if you have a specific vulnerability, meaning you only have one way out, like say one road out, elevate yourself one higher than they recommend. If you are, say, living in elevation and say a dead end road, or you're at the top of the hill, is it gravel? Do you have to go down a somewhat windy path to get down to a paved road? Elevate yourself one level higher than what they're saying. And remember, check your satellites. Make sure that you know about shelter in place options that you can walk to, or you can drive your car shortly to. Plowed fields, construction sites, baseball diamonds, golf courses, recently harvested fields, recently plowed stuff, pools, ponds, lakes, big culverts into the road, those sorts of things. Just become aware of that and listen to the radio constantly if the Skinner radio is available. They're the ones who are going to tell you immediately. Guys talking on Scanner. The fire's doing this. It jumped that line, and you need to evacuate such and such neighborhood, right? Now, there is an interactive map here, and you can go to humboldtsheriff.org/emergency. Let me copy that link, put that in there. Sign up for their emergency alerts for sure. Here is the link to the evacuation map. I'm saying this, just repeating my general knowledge here, but when I looked, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of structures in this area. We're going to look at the map anyway. It just seems like it's the kind of thing where there used to be historic ranches there, and maybe there's some historical things. There's some cattle watering holes and stuff. But in the immediate path south of the fire. So, okay, got a new something from Watch Duty. What is it now? Cottonwood Canyon Fires, Sherman County. Okay, that's back to Oregon. The two brand new fires that are being fanned by the winds. Okay, Watch Duty is stuck and won't update. Okay, zooming back to Oregon. Hey, Nick, welcome. Hey, you, Randall Smith, you are ordered back to bed. You are ordered back to bed, sir. All right. Where did I put Watch Duty? There you go. So, this is the Cottonwood one. Oh, this is the Winslow Road one. Oh, updated 6 minutes ago. Yeah. Now, we've seen these, it's harvest time for wheat and alfalfa and the seed grasses. So what we've seen from the Newell Road fire to what happened with the Gray fire and the tragedy in Washington is we're seeing these high winds and the stubble or the not quite harvested crop. I mean, this is normal this time of year to take away the irrigation, let it get dry, then you do the harvest. And unfortunately, this is the most vulnerable point for having these massive fires spreading wind like this. You got the Columbia River Gorge pretty close by, and all the crazy wind that can happen in the windstorms of eastern Oregon. And these things can just take off running. So I hope they get some aircraft with this. So this is what it looks like in Wasco County, posted 6 minutes ago. It's a brand new fire, so they're calling in for the very large aerial tankers, the VLATs. The drops are about to begin. Good. Uh, now, zooming back up to the cottonwood, which won't display on my phone. 2 minutes ago, we've got some pictures. This is in the canyon. Oh, it's gonna be a nightmare. However, this is flashy fuel stuff. Fire's supposed to be on this landscape pretty often. So unless there's some structures which they should, of course, try to protect, this is something that, of course, you don't want the fire to happen on a crazy wind day like this, but it's kind of natural to this kind of environment. It would be quite a struggle to keep it within, areas that don't have an habitation. It looks like I don't know what this road system is about. This might be crops. We could look at, the Google car doesn't come out here very much. We could look at satellite images later. So they're calling it an active brush fire 1 mile south of Cottonwood Canyon State Park. So both sides of the river growing rapidly. No containment at this time. Highway 206 is shut down. Please visit Trip Check for more travel info. I just hope nobody's in there like rafting and have their lives in danger right now. So they have emergency alerts for Everbridge, like I said, for that county. It's straddling Sherman and Gilliam counties. Yeah, it's chaff. That's the word. Chaff is what's left over after harvesting. Yeah, and stubble is another word for that. But stubble means that it's short, and chaff can be of any length. In fact, after they do combine harvesting, they'll take, say, the wheat germ and the seeds, and they kind of have big piles of the chaff behind the tractor, and then that's gathered together and baled later. And that may have been what contributed to the Newell and the Gray fire. I don't know what level and stage of the harvest they were in, but what that does is, since it's been cut, is it just blows like crazy in the wind. And you saw what happens with tall grass, like in the Lahaina, where the wind blew it and it's on fire, and that can stack up against buildings and up on roofs and against vehicles, and then light those things up. So we'll stay abreast of this. And we do have to monitor what's going on in California. So then there's, what is this? Warm Springs Reservation. It's a new fire that was reported right on the highway. Or not right on the highway. I should just say that they may not know exactly where it is. So usually they put the pin drop on the nearest road. So this would be Warm Springs Indian Reservation, I believe. And we just don't have any idea what's happening yet. So let's see what's going on. Yep. All right, Randall Smith. Hey, Cogito, how are you doing? But look, you are to rest. That is your order. How you doing, Cogito? What's up? Now let's check the California cams again. Like I said, like Bald Jesse, we had quite a lot of activity on it. But the 3-9 fire, I don't believe we're looking at. That's the one that's spreading south, and they have the new evacuations on Henry Ridge. One canyon over to the east, there's a town, but it's pretty much a north wind, so I don't think that town is threatened. But this just gives you an indication of the fire next door and just how dang active it is, and so we can guess what's going on with the 3-9. Nothing's new. Yeah. I want to keep looking at the lookout. This is just, huh. You can tell this is a movie. We actually have a movie camera for Death Ball Mountain from this IP Cam Live stuff. I don't even know what this is. It's like some sort of a business where you're supposed to register your camera or try out your camera. I don't know who did this, but I wish all the lookout cameras can be like this. I want to see what this business is about. They're all capable of just doing live movies, but we almost never get to see that. So I have no idea what the death ball cam is looking at. But here, it's kind of looking to the north rather than the east. You can see all these dead trees in the landscape. That's the holiday farm fire, of 2020 that just devastated the region. These poor little towns, McKenzie Bridge, Rainbow, and Belknap, for large, mostly survived and escaped the holiday farm fire, only to be threatened this year. So here we are. But look at the nice, moist, and cloudy, humid weather going on. That's pretty good. We'll take it. So let's go. Which fires do you want me to look at? I am still super frustrated with the Tyee. Let's refresh Douglas Forest Protective Association. There's almost no regular information about it, even though there's so many homes that are threatened. 4 hours ago, they said, have you seen these information boards around the town? The public service officers have been hard at work assembling and managing trap lines to bring non-electronic information to everyone. That's cool, because a lot of old timers, they don't even have a cell phone or a computer. So they're updated every day with current info. Don't see one in your area or think your location may benefit, reach out to us. These are like post offices and grocery stores and stuff. Yeah, a table of definitions of firefighting terminology would help. Yes, it would. Okay, they have relocated their Red Cross shelter to Sutherland, the Way Church of Sutherland. Okay, that's a small enough town for everybody to know where that is. We've got other updates, but that's 16 hours ago about the Chilkoot. Like I said, it's just so hard to find info on the Tyee. It's got its own Facebook page, but they almost never update it. 58 minutes ago we got it. Why didn't I think it's because I had the new fires overwhelmed my phone so much that they reached a maximum of 24, and that probably prevented me from getting the updates. By the way, there's a 2B fire in California, and they got it fully contained. That's great. That's awesome. Now, the head fire near Hamburg and Scott Rivers, they lifted evacuation warnings. But further west of that, all hell is breaking loose. So, Winslow Fire in Dufur, the radio traffic indicates firefighters engaging in structure protection. I may need to turn on Broadcastify to monitor that. The Sawmill Fire was a new one. 2 hours ago, forward progress was stopped. That's in Contra Costa County. Excellent. Maybe then they could send those air resources to the other fires in California. So let's look and see what we got for this Tyee Ridge complex. Aircraft in action battling wildfires. This just seems like, oh, that's pretty. A bunch of pictures from yesterday. Oh, there's the orange fish, the MD-87. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. And helicopter. Got a video. Hopefully it's not loud. It's loud. I hate that. Why do they have the loud helicopter noises and stuff? Just, upload the video without sound, please. In fact, I'm going to turn desktop audio down in case you guys get blasted like that again. That's just beautiful. Now, retardant, they like to splash down on the ridges because they like to stop fires up on ridges. Hopefully there's a road there, but it looks like there isn't really in this location. But it's a speed bump. It just buys the ground crew some time, usually a lot of it. It's a mixture of water and it's got some like phosphorus type blah blah blah, a couple of chemicals and a lot of stuff that basically is in animal manure. So there's a joke that it's basically cow beep, red dye, and water. It's not that far off. But what retardant does is it keeps the vegetation wet longer with kind of a sticky stuff. So even with heat coming near it, instead of just straight up evaporating like water, it's going to kind of stay wet for longer. And that's all it does. So there's another little video that won't get bigger for some reason. But this is probably yesterday, if not the day before's activities. But it's awesome that, they were doing this. But they give us an idea of what's going on. I wish this was live, though. Like here, their attempt to save a farmstead. They're not labeling which one of these they're fighting. Like we'd have to look at Google Maps to figure out where that is. Is it the cougar/rattlesnake? Is it the Tyee Mountain Fire, or is it the Lighthouse 1, 2, 3, or 4, or the Tyee Mountain Complex? So can't. Oh, it does get better. Okay, it got bigger. Once again, stupid helicopter noises. But man, for a second there, you could see just how many firefighting trucks and stuff are in the yard. And this has good defensible space. There's you hate to see trees right up to a farm or a home, but good defensible space at least from that side where the fire's coming down the hill. So they've got high hopes, and that's really good down there. So I'm glad they're sharing this, but what's the latest information? Okay, 3 hours ago, update for the residents of Hubbard Creek Road, which is in mandatory evacuation. Planned power outages were performed yesterday, which is Monday, to allow professional tree fellers that fell trees, time to remove the hazard trees near the utility poles. That begs the question, why are there hazard trees near utility poles? There's been a whole lot of neglected maintenance for West Coast power companies in Hawaii too. Now we found out. That's like you're not supposed to allow trees to grow up near your lines and have hazardous trees that could fall right over. They're damaged, diseased, dead. Why do the firefighters have to do this? Why isn't it just done already? Begs the question. Like that looks like a dead tree, doesn't that? What's it doing near power lines? Anyway, so they had to cut the power to people to do this work. Otherwise, they could have gotten electrocuted or started a new fire. So this morning, which is Tuesday, Douglas Electric sent a signal to each home's meter to see if electricity was being delivered. All homes showed that they were receiving electrical power. Okay. I don't see why they would energize the homes that are evacuated, but okay. Guess it keeps your refrigerator from getting all messed up. Food. We do have a morning update. Cool. My watch duty must have blocked it from just being too. So let's listen to it. Watch it, I mean.
Good morning. Kyle Gibbons, Operations Section Chief with the Oregon Department of Forestry Team 1 for the August 29th update on the Tyee Ridge Complex. So as far as Big Tom fire starting in the north, so the lines continue to hold. We improve, and we've been taking a little bit of fire along those lines to try to get that completely contained and kind of corralled in the same spot. So we've been on about day 2 of holding that in the same footprint, and we're fairly confident we'll continue those efforts and get this fire more into a patrol status like several of the other smaller fires that we've done that with. So moving south, we have hardscrabble that we continue to hold, and that's in a patrol status. Blue Hole has also been patrol status for a couple days. Yellow Point, Raccoon Drive are all in that similar. We check them with an engine, not a lot of heat that's concerning or any at all, and then we're able to kind of focus our resources on the areas of higher priority. So, and then moving south down to the Lighthouse fire. So we've had 3 of these fires combined. So we started with 4 Lighthouse fires, and now we're down to 2. So the Lighthouse fire became fairly active, and it's still within our control lines, but it's starting to increase in activity, and it had quite a bit of growth in the last 12 hours. So nothing that's overly concerning. It was in terrain we didn't have the resources to get into, or it was too steep to get into. So it's continuing to kind of fill up in this space here. In here, and then the idea is that we'll try to work it down towards this road and get it into some terrain where we can go in and get a fire line right on the edge of that fire. So still the goal is to minimize acres, keep it as small as possible, and then just do the best we can to try to kind of pinch it off in the smallest footprint we can. And then moving over to Tyee Mountain. So this fire's been giving us fits for several days. So we get a line around it. We have crews on it on a really steep slope, and then we have something roll out. So that means a snag, something that's on fire, falls across the line, creates issues for us, and then we have to go back in there with people, and we put a fire line around that slop over or that fire where that snag came across the line and trail it back into the main fire. So we continue to utilize helicopters when we have clean air on this, and hand crews as well to make sure that's in check. So I anticipate the Tyee Mountain Fire will continue that for the next couple days until we can kind of control that perimeter a little bit more, and then hopefully get that into a patrol status as well as shifting those resources to the Lighthouse fire in that area. So moving over to the Cougar fire. So originally this was the 3 fires, Cougar 1, Cougar Creek 2, and Rattlesnake, and now it's 1 fire, and it's the largest of the fires. So it's probably about 3,000 acres, and continues to grow. So this is where we have check lines that we've been working on for the last several days. So those are equipment groups. A lot of our industrial partners have came in to assist us with this, and so we have some industrial groups that we're putting in some check lines, some contingency lines in this area. So we were able to get in there with some aircraft yesterday to help kind of slow the spread of it and allow us to get some of these lines in place out in front of this fire where it's progressing. And then down here on the bottom of it where it crossed Hubbard Creek, we continue to try to wrap this piece up and keep this in as small a footprint as possible. So we have crews, bulldozers, helicopters if we get clean air in trying to keep that in check. And get a line around that and get that so it's kind of tied back into Hubbard Creek. So we continue those efforts as well. But the last 12 hours has been fairly active fire behavior, but nothing that's out and running. It's still, we still feel that we have lines in place. We're continuing to try to improve and hold the areas where the fires have made it to the roads and the check lines. But we have several days where we'll be putting in more contingency lines. So it's not always a concern if you hear equipment somewhere or if you see people going up a certain drainage, but we're trying to get out in front to have a plan. So we try to have basically 3 plans. So our primary, and then have a couple secondary options if that fire decides to stand up or if the weather conditions change and move it around a little bit. And then down in here, we continue to work the fire around the structures in coordination with Oregon State Fire Marshal's Office. Vince.
Good day, Vince Stafford, the Oregon State Fire Marshals, Operations Chief. So I'll give a brief update on our plan for today. The lighthouse fire up here, which we've been on for a few days. Again, we just keep working on that structure prep. They'll be putting in more sprinklers around the structures up there. They have a water source, so that's really going to help really secure that in case the fire comes down in there. It's just kind of progressing along as they have kind of planned that, but we do have resources in there and watching that along with the Tyee Road. Moving over to the Cougar Ridge fire, again, we have our crews in there last night and yesterday, and last night was a really good day for us to keep prepping and doing that stuff. Got real active last night. We had all the right resources in the right place, and with working with our partners, and just kind of kept pushing that around structures. So no damage at this point to any structures at all. So it's working really well in there. Again, we'll be back in there again, just doing a lot of mop up along that where it's come down closer to the road along those bulldozer lines and that kind of stuff. We have hose lines in, so we'll be continuing to do that throughout the day and moving our resources up and down in there. So into the report for me. I will see you again tomorrow.
Okay, finally, we got a comprehensive video, and I really liked that one. Wasn't that pretty sweet? Shoot, I just kind of closed it. That they had those little cutout videos, the little cutouts in. Let's see, hit watch again. I'll just mute it.
Gibbons, operations.
Shush. So they the second camera, or it's probably just from a laptop, but they did this in post actually after they shot it. Then they did a zoom in on. Instead of just pointing and try to zoom the camera on the map, this is better. This is the map on the laptop, And so you can see where they're making their lines. The little X's here are dozer lines. And you can see like little exclamation marks. I have the map key for those things. And it's usually like a hazard, like this or that. But I was really impressed here. Like this is completed dozer line here. So you could see where they plan to stop it if it was going to go south. This is other completed dozer lines around this place where it crossed the highway and climbed the hill. So completed dozer lines up here, and that's pretty awesome. I like videos like this. Now, I'm wondering if we shouldn't go and attend a little bit more carefully to monitor the fires up in Eastern Oregon, because this may be a rapidly evolving situation. Let's see, 30 minutes ago, we still had this. Now, we could turn on Broadcastify, just queued up. There's at least, for Wasco County, there's 33 people listening to Wasco County South Fire Ambulance Dispatch, due for Tye Valley, Maupin, Juniper Flats, blah, blah, blah. We may have to turn that on to monitor this because Watch Duty's not getting that many updates. I just don't want to listen to radio right now. However, we may have to. We also don't have much here going on except for Wasco. This is Sherman County and Gilliam. So it'd be different. I mean, it would be 2 different counties to try to monitor. If I click on Sherman, let's see if there's any. There are no feeds in Sherman County at all. Like, oh, okay. There are no ham radio operators that upload a broadcastify at all. So, okay, that solves that question. I was like, gee, how would we do 2 counties at once? Okay. Um, Never mind then. So let's just turn it on and see if we hear anything useful. Okay, since it's connected, I'm gonna kind of tone it down a little bit just in case it gets loud. We do have an airplane. Air attack is over the Cottonwood Canyon fire over there. Let's see which kind of planes are en route. The DC-9s. They are coming. Do we have any cams though? Let's peel away from the one here. Timberline Lodge. That's not going to tell us anything. We don't. Eastern Oregon is almost devoid of cams, and yet they have raging wildfires all the time. Eastern Oregon is one of those crazy places where the thunderstorms roll through. You could be camping or having a good time or something, like I was in June, and then out of the blue, it's like, huh, my ears just popped. Oh, did your ears pop? And then all of a sudden, the storm just blazes through, like moves super quick in across the sky, and then you'll suddenly have to throw your body all over the tent to keep the tent and the stakes from just lifting up off the ground. All of a sudden the trees are bending like fishing poles above you. There's lightning crashing everywhere, thunder rumbling and shattering your eardrums and vibrating you into your chest, and animals like herds of antelope and deer are just running by at the speed of sound. And in a panic, you see a whole bunch of lightning strike fires erupt all over the landscape, and then followed by torrential downpours that rains them out, and tumbleweeds that get thrown, uh, dislodged and thrown across the landscape, and they travel in giant herds of tumbleweeds, and it's a terrifying experience. And you're wondering, okay, this was the dumbest idea I had ever to I put I pitch my tent underneath trees, and if lightning strikes them, I'm dead. Should I be running out into the middle of a field and trying to spread eagle myself face down, trying to save my life here, or if I leave the tent, though, it's going to fly off somewhere. What in the world was that? Okay, that was the radio. Uh, Eastern Oregon is something else. Just something else. Okay. I don't think we're going to be able to see anything. Okay, that's more of the radio sound. So we'll keep the radio on for a minute, and I guess we can look at the weather. Hey, Spinny Dude, how are you? Let me go back. Tell me what fire you want to hear about. Oh, Kobe, hello. Are there any pyros in California? Yeah, we got a couple of doozies. So that was High Divide the other night. I just liked that image, so I paused it there. This is High Divide right now, the last 30 minutes, and it kind of moved. But my thumbnail image is a pyrocumulus that this is north of Gasquet. That was thrown up into the sky, and then this High Divide camera moves a little bit, but there's a north wind that's kind of dry air that's I don't know what the wind gusts are, at least 25 miles an hour, that are making all the fires try to run south in Northern California. Now, it's a blessing in some ways. Places like Cave Junction and Southern Oregon, the fire would be moving away from their town, but any town or inhabitation that is south of these fires is nervously biting their fingernails off right now. We've got heat detections quite close to the town of Gasquet. So hopefully their firing that they did before has meant that now that the main fire seems to have reached it is not as bad. But I think the Wild Frontier Cam is supposed to be looking at Gasquet, and we can't see a damn thing. There's just too much smoke. So there may be fire right down in here. I just can't even tell. So we'll have to keep looking at this. Looks like there's a lot of aircraft inbound towards that Cottonwood Canyon fire. Is due for chopped liver? I mean, or is aircraft not needed? The Winslow Road fire. Said it was spreading rapidly in the wind. They had evacuations in place. Very large aerial tanker drops are about to begin. Well, they flew past and they're at the Cottonwood one, so uh, that's an air attack, and then that's tactical. I hope they get other aircraft to help them. So, elsewhere, there's a helicopter east of Eugene in the canyon for some reason. And let's see, we got a tanker, medium-sized tanker, that was going around the lighthouse fire and the Tiny Mountain fire. That's good news from that update that 2 of the lighthouse fires are done. So, yay. But California, man, California. Now, I don't know. Okay, aircraft is flying over. I don't know that there's as much south of this 3-9 fire that's going to be threatened other than historical type things. It looks like there was a fire earlier, maybe years ago, and to the south and east of where the 3-9 is. So I don't know how bad this could be. The tubing, by the way, is contained. That's just awesome. We didn't need another one down there. Let's see, where's the VLATs? Yeah, Tinker 912 is working that. So they were doing their best with the 3-9 fire. Do we have another update? Just their evacuation thing. Let's refresh. Make sure. Yeah, to have an overall containment, there's like 4 fires clustered together. Overall containment of 25%, when generally it's about 3,000 acres. That'll expand today. Now the deep had, since it was up on the high mountain ridge tops, expect those that have been up on the mountains to get a lot of heat. Detected from satellite. There's an operational update that was updated an hour ago. See what I mean about being up there? Higher it is, usually the fiercer the winds. And nice. God, that's Wasco County fire, and I'm gonna turn that off if there's no action on it soon, because that keeps freaking me out. Nice dead tree in the way there. You can see all the dead trees everywhere, making this a nightmare. However, it hasn't moved too much. Jeez. Okay, Wasco County, what? Say something. Jeez. Give me a heart attack. Doesn't that sound like the old dial-up sound? Yeah. Or like a fax machine. Okay. So that was an update at 7:30 in the morning, but there's a video. It's got heat on it, but I want to make sure I'm not. What? They called one of these the mosquito fire? This should be banned. Last year's mosquito fire was a really big affair and threatened many homes, and PG&E seems to have started it. Where I'm sure they're not done with their investigation yet, but that was in California. They shouldn't name fires after after recent ones, because as people go to Google search to try to find information, they're going to no doubt mostly find information about last year's fire. That's just the way that works. It's fucking ridiculous, stupid crap. Okay. What's going on with the perch? 4 hours ago update. They completed their firing operation. That what we heard they were going to try to do. The perch east of Orleans, estimated to be almost 3,000 acres. They are preparing for the firing operation north from DP 14 to 211. This op will take several shifts to complete. Type 1 structure protection crews are working in 24-hour shifts. Clothesline sprinklers have been deployed around the values at risk. Structure assessment teams have been assessing structures for structure protection in the Psalms Bar area. Okay, so we watched that. Oh, I don't think we did watch that video a day ago because I think that was the day I slept for 22 hours. But Godspeed with their structure protection. Now tell me about which fire you want to know about right now. Debbie Meek says, where can I watch this too? The hurricane coverage. I don't do hurricanes. Hey, Big Daddy. Thanks. I need a hug. That's okay. If you don't have money to spare, or if that's even a question you have to think about, don't worry, I'll survive somehow. You can help the channel by patting me on the head and giving hugs, and just sharing the link with people that you think will benefit from the information in your own Facebook page or your own social media page. So Speedy Dude says, what's going on with the Blue Creek 2? Yeah, please give more information about where I could find it, like what county, what state. Right. Yeah, thanks, Spinny. If you're on a desktop, try to do this to get my attention. Type in @ like this, like example. If you type in @ and then start typing my name, and there'll be like a little pop-up of my name. Click that. That'll give me a bright orange highlight, and I will see your comment. Or you can do super chat too. Yeah, I'm competing with hurricane coverage today, but I still have to do my job, which is the fire coverage. I don't know anything about hurricanes.
Sport Brush 632 to Fire Command.
Hey, Wasco County. We finally got action on it.
Go for Fire Command.
This is Dallasport Brush 632. Where do you want us to go to?
Winslow Road fire east of Mount Hood.
For now, what's your location currently?
We're the northwest side of the fire.
By the way, it's kind of taboo. It's considered rude to say, where can I go to some other channel to watch something else?
Hang tight for right now. Let me see where I can get you over there. I'm currently on the northeast side of the fire.
Copy that. We're staging right now.
Okay, so it's useful to keep this Wasco County radio on. It's hopefully they'll give us fire updates and they'll report back to dispatch. We're hearing dispatch, not like what the crews are doing on the ground. Yeah, I'll be happy to go look at what's going on in the California Coast Range. So these are new fires that we definitely have to keep a lookout because we have fires racing towards homes and stuff. We have 2 new fires that just broke out today, really somewhat close to each other. Okay, so California Coast Range, the Blue Creek 2 fire. There's a search. South of San Francisco, north. I assume north. Is it part of one of the complexes, or am I going to see it here? Because, they keep... Oh, there it is. There it is, right in front of my face. Okay, so next to the Marlow. Okay. I imagine that's quite active. So they just had an acreage update 20 hours ago, 1783 acres. Remember, they even renamed the complex. It was originally part of the SRF Bluff complex. It's now part of the SRF Lightning complex. With that, we also split this fire into its own incident and will now solely be used for the Blue Creek 2 fire. And oh my God. Even Sweet Glunder, yeah, He's a pro, you know. Even he says I'm getting totally confused by all these name changes. They just can't do this to us. So it's going to have its own updates from now on, but I guess we have to check the main complex fire thing to get our updates. I don't even see the main anymore. Did they destroy it? Where we used to have one-stop shopping? I don't even. So the Marlow, which is next to it, we haven't even had an update on that of any kind of detail for 2 days. 2 days ago was 1,100 acres, and it merged into the SRF Bluff complex, and so it's no longer part of the Smith River complex per Northop's evening update. Oh my god. I have all these handwritten notes and keywords in all my descriptions, and so if I ever wanted to go back in time, like say it's a month later and people had questions about these fires, I would go back to my handwritten notes, right? And now I have to update all my handwritten notes with the history of the fire name changes, and my job is hard. People have no idea how many hours I spend behind the scenes just trying to keep it straight in my head so I could try to reference stuff for reasons like this that don't have to happen. So this is the blue what now? The Marlow is part of the Blue Creek 2. No wonder I've never heard of it. Creek 2, once part of the SRF Bluff, which no longer exists. Okay, which no longer exists. Also once part of SRF Lightning. When I put all these keywords in the description of the videos, people can find information about their fires. I've since run out of space. It was easy when it was SRF, Lightning, North and South, and now it's just all this crap. But now split off from that one. Great. Okay. Hey, Rob, how are you? What's the status of the Cat Creek? Oh, it's positively damp over there right now. It's we got some sprinkles, and the current look at the cam shows water droplets all over the cam, so it's in stasis. Here it is. It's in stasis. This is going to give them so much help. I mean, look how dang foggy it is.
Downpour front, 631, 9464.
Oh my God, Wasco County. Why? Sorry, guys. I've just toned that down for you.
632, go ahead.
It's raining.
Hey, if you guys want to report to the staging area over on the other end towards 6th Road.
We'll be heading that way. We're on the northwest side.
Yeah, I copied that direct. Yeah, if you want to head over up to the northeast side of the fire, time with me.
Copy that. We'll be there in a minute.
Okay, so we're listening to Wasco County, and so the fire by Doofer does threaten homes and property, and they've got evacuations. So that's why we're listening to the radio, because we have no images there, but it's running. So we have to monitor that closely. Also, the Cottonwood Canyon fire, which we don't get that many updates about, but the high winds in Eastern Oregon right now, pretty bad for this. So we got a fleet of aircraft all over the place running around Oregon in general. I just don't know what the status was of past 24 hours. Did Southern Southwest Oregon get much precipitation? I don't know. So we got a north wind that's fanning up all these northwestern California fires, though. So expect the south flanks to be quite active, and that they might be finding new fuel. Some of these fires, and then the north sides of these fires will be active, and it'll be pushing the fire back on itself to the south. So it's a blessing for the north side of these fires, and it's scramble madness, oh god, time for the south portions of these fires. Looking back at the chat, thanks everybody who's donated to PayPal. I haven't been able to check that. You keep us going ad free. I never ever want to resort to ads on this. If you've noticed, there's no ads on anything. You can go back and watch 12-hour archives without ads. Go back to see what you need to look at without ads. I mean, occasionally there's one or two, and that's where I lost control of the video because some song I played or something meant that I either have to mute the video or take it down or allow the songwriter, the song owner, to put some ads on there. But that doesn't happen often. Okay, we just got new watch duty. There's something new, a new fire called the Track Fire in the Cajon Pass in California. Right. The Sawmill Fire, that's right, was taken care of in Contra Costa County. What is the 99 fire? Forward progress was stopped, but the barn is fully involved and will pose a risk to exposures until contained. That's sad. That's in Los Molinos, California, north of Chico. Okay, what? Watch duty. Track fire. Oh, a new fire in Colusa County. Okay, hold on to your butts. There's a red flag warning going on from
Command, Red 32.
Reading to Sacramento for tomorrow.
Brush 32, go ahead, very static.
We're listening to the fire near Dufur in Oregon.
Hey, I need you to tie in with the Hood River Task Force down at the bottom of Dufur Gap, Hicks Road, and Pole Road, and you're going to go to the northwest side of the fire with them.
Okay, since we don't have a camera, we're listening to what's going on in Wasco County. There's fast-moving wildfire near Dufur, south of it. We have evacuations there, so trying to hear about that whenever we can. So I think down in the Cajon Pass, we've got a cam. I'm pretty sure we do. Where is that again? It's here, right? Yeah. So this fire just broke out. Deja vu, guys. Remember when we saw the crazy, yeah, there it is. Remember when we saw the fire that was in the Cajon, it's called Cajon, right? Cajon Pass, where the orange fish, like the MD-87, was going in there, would make its drop, and then it would do like a near vertical climb to not smack into the mountains. I had no idea that passenger jets were that agile. That made me bite my fingernails off. Okay, so we've got a new fire called the Track Fire down here in Southern California that we'll also be looking at. They've already got some aircraft on the way. So, yeah, welcome back, Cogito. Yeah, JCAT is talking about the Camp Creek fire having no change because nobody flew over it. Let's see here. They haven't evacuated anybody near the Camp Creek. They're still strengthening the 14 road, blah, blah, blah. And while they were saying that the rain on it that was yesterday's rain probably wasn't enough to get down to the forest floor, there's enough now to make that damp. It's been damp for most of the day over there. Raindrops on the lens, and you just saw the rain. So it's at stasis. That's going to help them get a handle on it. So this is the cam for the track fire. Going to San Bernardino, ring a ding ding. I gotta get a clip of that. Do you guys like the Dire Straits? Okay, Kagita says pins and needles too. Yeah, I've got relatives in Florida and Southwest Georgia. So hopefully they'll be okay. This will be their second hurricane this year. Let's see. But yeah, please stop suggesting that everybody go watch something else. Thank you very much. Just saying. You know, people know how to turn on the TV, and you can turn on the television. You can watch me at the same time. Isn't that cool? Suggest that people do that instead of turning off my channel. Thank you. But I know it's a lot to monitor. There's disasters all over the place. I just don't know anything about hurricanes. I've only been through one of them, and I'm not qualified to cover that stuff. So let me see. I'm hoping we're going to see an air show here. Let's check out. There's the Cone Pass. Is anything going to start dropping? We got 2 en route. Looks like, yeah, 2 Marsh S2s. Turbo trackers. Kind of medium-sized planes. Now this is the plane that carries enough retardant or water to trash a car. That's in that famous car splat video where they drop retardant directly on it and the SUV is got its roof caved in and all that. These are those guys. So the medium-sized tankers can still kill a fire crew if they accidentally drop fire, put the drop on the wrong place. Where's that video? Here it is. So we'll see if we can see some drops live here. I don't think we have good cams that are live on any other fires at all, but please be checking the cams, and if we get any images that are important, we'll go switch to them. We know that the high winds are forming pyrocumulus throughout many of the fires up in Northern California right now. But they've known about this weather coming, and they've had a long time to protect structures for most of those. The 2 events in Oregon east of Mount Hood, the Cottonwood Canyon thing and the thing in Doofer, those are much more worrying. Oh yeah, there's our first retardant splash right there. Wow. Wish we had like live video. We're listening to Wasco County, not the fire happening in Doofer, so we'll keeping that on because we don't have any images of what's going on. The second turbo tracker should be doing a retardant dump. I was hoping it's a little bit of a tight zoom. Sometimes you can see the aircraft coming and flying around a bit more, especially if it's zoomed out. Then I would zoom in to look at the actual retardant dump. There we go. There's an airplane right there. Now, I don't. Lead planes don't have to lead them in. Turbo trackers are one of the few planes that have specialized windows and cutouts and stuff so that the pilots can see below them. It's the VLATs, the passenger jets, where the pilots can't see down. They can only see in front. So they'll follow around a lead plane, and the lead plane will pop smoke like an air show right on top of where the fire is. And as soon as the passenger jet VLAT flies into it, as soon as their nose hits it, and they hit the button to drop their load. So those high tension power lines, this has got to be some very frightening flying. You got the factory in a canyon, so you got to pull up and pull some G's and do vertical climbing to not smack into the mountain. And you gotta avoid these high tension power lines at the same time. Some of the most dangerous flying in the world. We've got to appreciate their beep balls, and how scary and dangerous this is. Okay, Spinny Dude says this year is so much better for fires in the foothills of Sierra Nevada. Yeah. Now, not knock on wood though, please. Like, please. California's worst fire season is yet to come. California's worst fire season is October through January. Winter. That's when the Santa Anas and Diablo winds blow. Remember, Paradise happened in November. Santa Rosa happened in October. Cascade Fire happened in October. The Oakland firestorm happened in October. The Bear, I think, happened in November. A lot of these are deadly. So that's when you get it's seasonal. Has nothing to do with global warming or anything. It's been going on since the beginning of time. That's when the jet stream changes. A couple things line up, and the hot, dry desert winds of Nevada are pushed over at hurricane force speeds over the Sierras, and any fires up in the Sierras blow back down to the towns in the foothills and in the valley, and it's terrible times. And then all these high winds will go all the way and try to exit near Mount Diablo in San Francisco. Like the only way they can exit to get to the coast. So that's why you get the Oakland firestorm. That's why they're called Diablo winds. I mean, they're also evil too, but same thing. The winds when they have nowhere to go but exit only one spot near Santa Ana down there in Southern California. That's why they're called the Santa Ana winds. They're basically the same thing. They're terrible. Everybody lives in fear. Okay, so, but with El Nino, at least the summer fire season is a lot more mild for California because it means wetter and cooler, and then in general southwest of the United States, and a hotter and drier Pacific Northwest. So that's why, I mean, they mean Northwest, like going up to all the way to Alaska. That's why Canada's on fire, and so is Oregon and Northwestern California in a bit of an unusual way. Thank you, El Nino. So Rob Langsdorff says, which camera are you tracking the fire with? Oh yeah, this one is Little Mountain 1 down there. Here's that. We can do a little bit of a time lapse. It's going to be a very big challenge to keep it from climbing that hill. Hey, we got a train going through. See a little train down here? Choo choo. I should cue up Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood Trolley song. This could climb up the hill. This could be a pretty bad one here. Looks like the high tension power lines climb the hill too. You can kind of see their little heads up there. So if that's kind of bad, that's where you can't put tanker drops right next to the high tension lines. I mean, the pilots are running extreme risk, so they'd probably have to go up there to the nearest road and wait for the fire to come up to the road. If it manages to climb up there. So, what did Sea Probe say? I think I'm guilty. I moved California to Oregon. Now the fires have followed me. Yeah, it's your fault, clearly. Pitchforks. Run them out of town. Okay. We're still listening to Wasco County, trying to figure out what's going on in Dufur. Still here, Catherine. Hey, Debbie. Good to see you. Thanks for coming back. The funny thing is I track fires so much that I have no idea what's going on with hurricanes or anything else. What we could do is take a quick look. I'll take a quick look for you guys because I'm so nice. Because we can see the weather for the United States, and how to fix the fires and how the hurricane's going. Okay, so let's turn on my radar. Okay, see the tremendous wind stuff going on? Seems to start around the Cascade Mountains and then pick up and then slam into eastern Oregon. Got some rolling crazy thunderstorms that appear to be wet, at least, in northern Idaho, western Montana, central eastern Washington, from Lewiston to west of Spokane has got some rolling thunderstorms with some lightning. Hold on to your butts over there. Another look at watch duty. The Mitchell fire is contained in Colusa County. Sweet. That's great. All right. So you could see the north winds and how they're affecting the fires in northwestern California. Some of them might have a little bit of moisture stuff up there by the Smith River, but a lot of it is the hot, dry desert stuff. Over here where it says Klamath Falls, you guys can't really see that. I hate it. I zoom in and the words are still small. A lot of that's hot, dry desert stuff. So Shasta County is one of the places I got an alert for because north winds like this, things like the Fawn Fire broke out a couple of years ago, and then all hell breaks loose. Shasta County lives in fear of the north winds. All right. You're probably like, the hurricane, though. Okay. Here it is. And it's spinning all right. Got lots of lightning just off the coast west of Fort Myers. I could tell you, even though it looks like it's just the tail end of something, Fort Myers is going to have trees bending like fishing poles right now. It was the tail end, what they call the sidewall or whatever of the hurricane that I experienced in the Caribbean, and that's not a joke. So I don't know where it is headed or forecast to head. Let me make sure I've got like a hurricane tracking layer. If there is, yeah, here, hurricane tracking layer. Okay, it's supposed to head, God, to the Panhandle. The eye wall is supposed to appear just east of Tallahassee. So Tallahassee is going to get slammed, so probably Panama City and whatever word that is. Apalacolia, whatever that town is in the Panhandle. So St. Petersburg is getting brushed right now, and so is Sarasota. That line of lightning is going to be insane. I wonder if they could see it from the shore. It would be like crazy lightning on the water, probably purple and pink looking. So what is its category and all that now? 2. Idalia is a category 2, wind speed of 98 miles an hour with gusting to around 121. It's moving at a rate of 16 miles an hour. And its course is north by northeast. Blah, blah, blah. It's now a category 2 hurricane, correcting errors before, I guess. Life-threatening storm surge and hurricane conditions expected along portions of the Gulf Coast of Florida tonight and Wednesday. Blah, blah, blah. It'll have its locations about 195 miles southwest of Tampa and 300 miles south of Tallahassee right now. Maximum sustained winds are 100 miles an hour to 155 kilometers. What's that mean? Present movement, 16 miles an hour, like I said, or 26 kilometers an hour. Watches and warnings. Hurricane watch is issued for the mouth of St. Mary's River north to Edisto Beach, or Edisto. Storm surge watch issued from Beaufort Inlet to Drum Inlet, North Carolina. That's right, it'll slam the Carolinas and Savannah, Georgia, it looks like eventually, up to Charleston. So, this big summary of watches and warning in effect, and my throat will die if I read these. So, discussion and outlook. A northward to northeastern motion is expected through tonight. It's forecast to reach the Big Bend coast of Florida on Wednesday morning. After landfall, the center of Idalia is forecast to turn towards the northeast and east, moving near or along the coast of Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina late Wednesday into Thursday. So the maximum sustained winds have increased to near 100 miles an hour with higher gusts, and it will get stronger. It's expected to become a major hurricane tonight before it reaches the Big Bend coast of Florida. It is likely to still be a hurricane when moving across southern Georgia, possibly when it reaches the coast of Georgia or southern South Carolina on Wednesday. Hurricane force winds extend outward to 25 miles or 35 kilometers from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward to 160 miles away from the center. The minimum central pressure based on recon is 972 millibar or 28.71 inches. Hazards are storm surges, the obvious wind speed and stuff. And when pressure drops like that, I gotta say that even if it's not raining, which it will, it'll torrentially rain, of course. Like, say you had a swimming pool and it was 2.5 feet below the top of the pool, like say it was underfilled, just the change in the pressure, that'll rise before your eyes in just a matter of moments. And it'll flood out of the swimming pool. Like, people don't realize you should draw that down right now if you can. Like, try to drain something. Check your gutters. Like, make sure they're not clogged and stuff in your street. Get out your rake, and if there's any leaves or debris or anything like that, you want to clear that right now. Not just do stuff like board up your windows and stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah. Surf and swells. Next advisory will be issued at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 3 hours ahead of us. So it's actually it's 5 o'clock now. So that means in 1 minute we're going to get a new updated advisory. Oh, God, I don't want to read stuff again. Grr. Okay. That should at least help this fire. What is this fire? Wildfire number 112. That thing should be done. It's 66% containment right now. Well, you're toast tonight, buddy. Good. South has been hit and slammed by these things. It's been pretty sad. New Orleans is getting slammed with a thunderstorm of its own. Lightning everywhere. Biloxi as well, which is Mississippi. So hold on to your butts. Most of the country, Montgomery, Columbia, getting slammed with thunderstorms. I wonder what happens when these systems like collide with each other. Yeah. Also got the hurricane that's out there in the Atlantic, but it's forecast to stay out there in the Atlantic and kind of avoid the United States. We can only hope. World gone wild. If you're wondering why we've had such crazy weather last 3 years, and this is the 4th year of crazy weather, we had 3 years of La Nina, which means crazy weather, and now we have a year of El Nino, which means crazy weather. That's the way that is. Are you guys ready for normalcy? I'm ready for 2020 to finally end. Are you? A return for some normalcy for at least a year, please? 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 Okay. back to the wildfires. I hope you have enjoyed this hurricane update. My first hurricane update that I've ever done. Okay, looking back at the fires and this track fire in Cajon Pass or whatever. Look at the train. Do 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 do. This could be a challenge. We did see some retardant drop happening, but it's gonna climb the hill right under the high tension power lines. That'll be a challenge. C Pro says 5 o'clock is happy hour. Well, come over and make me a drink. I was hoping that I could just stop and just be like, this is your fire update for today. I've been up since 3:30. After sleeping 22 hours, yes, but I'm sick. I need to sleep. Now it's I have to make sure I'm getting my updates. I have to clear away the watch duty updates as they happen. Okay, I have 15 watch duty updates. The Mitchell fire in Clusa County was contained, yes. Hopefully they'll now take the aircraft and go somewhere else with it to help. Yeah, they're engaging in structure protection and Doofer. We're still listening to Wasco County, but we just haven't heard anything in a long time. 15 minutes at least. So Godspeed. That was in Doofer County. Now this one we're looking at. What do they call this? Already forgotten. The track fire, right? Okay. So they've got Beechcraft, Super King. There's now a helicopter, but we don't have an update. I'm sure it's beyond 3 acres by now. And it's kind of a wind tunnel. Let's see what the wind is like down there. Yeah, I forgot we could do that on my radar. Here we go. The fires in this pass are pretty frequent and it's pretty challenging to deal with. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay. Where did I put that fire? Where's the pass? Okay. Let's just search for the dang thing. Wait, search? Not layers. I thought search was here. But I try to X so I can search. Oh no. So how do I search then? Okay, search down here. There we go. Cajon Pass in California. El Cajon, is that near where we want? No. Okay. Devore. Let's just search for that. Devore? Oh, come on. Okay. Verdemont. Will that work? Verdemont? Oh, that's just ridiculous. How about just Cajon, California? You bastard. It's acting like these places don't exist. Okay, San Bernardino exists. Let's just find it that way. Stupid. Did it take us to San Bernardino like I wanted? Did it? Go back. Go back up. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a fierce wind there going on. Great. So, isn't this the path? I sneeze. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, not. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that fire that was in Los Molinos, the poor barn was fully involved. The spread to the vegetation, and that's north of Chico, is about 1/8 of an acre with multiple exposures, but crews are making the good progress on it. Well, that's good. Okay, we got an update on Dewford. No, we don't. That's an old thing I didn't clear. Whoopsie. Okay. Okay, we got a new track fire update. When we're looking at, let's get out of this. Is it 100 degrees? Wait a second, is it 100 degrees there? Dang. It's a balmy 74. Portland, you poor bastards. Yeah, it's like 90 degrees. Okay. Once again, I just fail to comprehend why anybody lives in Southern California. I like the heat though, but good God. Okay, so the track fire per radio traffic is holding at 5 acres. Does aircraft have retardant around it? Look back at its image. Well, that was high risk, but very effective drops then. Good job. That looks like a water splash, doesn't it? Kersplash. Yeah, probably is. Might be the helicopter. Maybe. Could be, I mean, it could be a wind gust or something, but I would assume like a water drop. Okay. To clear old information so I can get new. Chilcoot fire. The bedrock had a meeting. They reduced the evacuation notice on the bedrock in Oregon. Okay. There's a lookout fire stuff, Horse Creek stuff. Morning update. Yeah. That's a lot better than it's going a lot better with this track fire than I even thought it would. Meanwhile, Portland's had crazy amounts of commercial and structure fires and outdoor fires all day in the last few days. Safeway was nearly evacuated on Lovejoy today. I listened to that on the radio. There was a burning electrical fire smell and something going on with the cooler in the fish section. So they had a hazmat crew go in there because they detected a freon leak, and they called hazmat and said, "Do we need to evacuate the building? How toxic is freon?" And so they got back to him. They said, "Well, anybody in the room with it long should be wearing the scuba. I mean, scuba without the U. But basically scuba tanks." And they said instead of evacuating the whole thing, they could just open some windows and do some ventilation, but they had an uncontrolled freon leak. But they were able to stop the smoldering electrical fire before it became like a fire. So there's a couple other fires, illegal outdoor fires, things from homeless encampments, which are daily. But just wind up here, even though it's soggy and damp, was conducive to having fires. A lot of the structure fires got really bad today just because of the wind, even though it was kind of damp. A lot of residential fires and stuff. So you're not hearing about it, though, on the news in like Multnomah County because it's just generally pretty damp over there. Rob Langsdorff says the I-5 camera at number 221 is showing the track fire. Is it as cool as this view, or is it better? This is all already a bit boring. If they've kept it from going up the hill, I'm sure they're going to get some good lines around it pretty quick. Now let's look at the current Bald Jesse one. Remember how we had some crazy activity on it. This is the fire that's west of the 3-9 fire, east of Eureka. You can imagine how the 3-9 fire is trying to race south. I want to make sure that we're monitoring that stuff too. And my phone should ding if we get new updates. It's frustrating we can't watch it, you know. So Big Al says, Randall Smith, yeah, I'll do. I probably served him if he was at the bar. Wait a second, what are you guys talking about? Hey, William says, whoever mentioned Devore is correct. Pass here is reliably one of the windiest places in SoCal. Yeah, I did, man. The fires in there are very exciting. Jane Blackbird says Mount Baldycam overlooks the whole valley. Okay. So back up at the chat. Hey, Nevi D, sorry I didn't greet you. I was looking at the hurricane or something. Yeah, thank you for the well wishes. Debbie says thank you, Catherine. Don't know much about hurricanes myself. Yeah. And thank you everybody who's donated to PayPal with the link in the chat. I just can't monitor that right now. We got a lot going on. But thanks for helping us stay ad free. I don't have a job to cover these fires. I can't have one and do this at the same time. It's not like, hey boss, I'm gonna go cover some fires. When will you be back? I don't know, a couple of weeks maybe. It's red flag for a week. You know, that kind of thing doesn't work. So if I don't find new sources of income, and year-round income, I may have to stop doing this. It's become very, very tight because we just haven't had really huge fires to cover like we did before. So we don't have thousands and thousands of viewers giving a couple bucks here and there. Right now we have 20 donors, that are basically keeping my lights on, and I'm still not funded completely through this month, let alone September. So the problem with this is if I go back to, even if it's doing odd jobs and like computer repair like I used to do, it means I have to do that year round. Like you can't just take off summer. When people hire you to fix their computers, they want their computers fixed now, whenever they got a problem. I can't just say, yeah, I'll attend to you in 4 months. So I made a leap of faith and hope that this year I would have as much funding as last year and the year before, but it has not materialized. So more important than ever to donate, and that's why I'm just so grateful those who have. We will find a way, you know. I was really hoping to try to do affiliate links with products. Let's see, it's not playing again. Okay, there we go. But that means you have to have 20,000 subs before you could do that. The ones that show right up on the screen. I was like, dang it. But I'll figure it out. We'll have Patreon or something else. I can do plenty of non-fire related topics that'll probably get viewers. However, I have an ethical dilemma on that. Since I already have a channel that has over 1 million views, if I do my other things, such as ghost towns, not paranormal, but history, drive to ghost towns and film them and give the history of places, show you special places. I promised on this channel, if people hit the ringing bell, that they'll only be notified about fires. It'd be irritating for them to be notified every time I went live or made a video about like history. Maybe they have no interest, right? So if I do those other topics, like I have hundreds of videos ready to go for teaching people how to recycle for saving the planet and profit, recycle metal and e-waste. I also have fun videos like what's inside it, me taking stuff apart. computer help videos. See if we have any fires on these cams. History, science, all sorts of things. I think I now have proof that Native Americans are building fire access roads. Oh God, there's a spider. Things like that, which you'll not hear anywhere else because nobody else has that theory. I just saw a documentary and I realized, oh my God, I know what that is. That's a fire access road. Archaeologists are stumped by it. They think it's spiritual. Okay, roads are not spiritual. They never have been and they never will be. They do something, okay? They're a trade network. They facilitate travel or they block fire. There's the three main reasons for a road. And since they were not for any trade routes, they didn't link any communities. Duh, they're for fire control. So anyway, I can give people unique perspectives because I just think differently like that, practically. But this is like a betrayal of the people who have signed up with the ring bell just to get fire, like emergency stuff. So this means starting these new channels from scratch. That's not gonna pay. That's like planting a fruit tree on YouTube. It does not pay for a long time. You will not be suggested to anybody's feed until you are already popular. That's why, wow, Highline Trail, that is ugly looking. That's some bad orange smoke on Highline Trail. This is Shasta County, I think. Birds. So we'll find a way, though. We'll find a way. But when the fire off season happens, I'll have to continue the leap of faith and try to make YouTube pay me somehow, like to keep the lights on. That way, so we don't have to get a real job. Yeah, you're probably right, Rob. Check on if there's something called track road. Fires are almost always named after the nearest road access so that first responders go to the same place. That's stupid. That's why so many fires are named stupid names. Like Campfire is Camp Road. Even though it affected Paradise, it was called the Campfire. For God's sake. That's why it was called the Caldor. It was Caldor Road, but that didn't help. Naming things that way sometimes sucks because there's like 8 different Caldor roads in El Dorado National Forest. The railroad that used to serve the ghost town of Caldor, when they pulled the tracks up, it was all called Caldor Road. And the railroad had different routes to different little towns. So they should have numbered it, Caldor Road 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. But they didn't. So when they named the fire the Caldor Fire, massive confusion happened, and dispatch told fire crews to go to the one that led to the ghost town of Caldor. So they went 6 miles out of their way to the east, which I can tell you right now takes like half an hour to drive. Then they realized they're at the wrong spot, had to drive half an hour back west, and that's just, sometimes this naming system is chaos. Oh yeah, my clock got frozen because I put something else in front of it. Thank you. So what it is it's not a real clock. It's a website called, what is this website called again? Clocktab.com. Because getting a real clock widget is harder than hell, actually, for Streamlabs. And I didn't want to pay to buy it. So what that is, it's a website open in Opera. And I just squeeze down the window view. But Opera sleeps the tab if it's not in the forefront, right? So I have to put it in the corner of my monitor. And I accidentally put in front of it the Broadcastify window for Wasco County. So thank you. It'll go to sleep anytime there's a window in front of it. Thank you. Debbie Meek says it's been a long minute for sure. Dude. Okay. Once again, we're in California. We just can't see any of the fires. Been looking. It's super smoky. So we're deaf, dumb, and blind now for the North California fires. But I've got the, watch duty ring-a-ding-ding ready to go to let us know if there's any new evacuation updates. If you look at the heat detections, there's a lot of nervous heat near some communities. Like Gasky, look at that. So I'd love an update, but they're probably got their hands full. Let's just see if we've got one. So I think aircraft are off. I don't see anything. The track fire is maybe a little bit of a done deal. Now, go to Smith River Complex. Wow, we got VLATs, Hercules. Wow, going around the north section of Smith River Complex. Hopefully, they're going to strengthen these lines so that it can't get into Biscuit Fire Burn Scar and can't get closer to O'Brien and Illinois Valley and Cade Junction. I like this. I like what we're seeing here. Finally, some attention being paid to this. If the north wind is pushing the smoke south, then it gives them opportunity. Smith River Complex was like 74,000 acres or so. And we still don't have a damn update. Just their operational video thing. I guess we can watch that. Did we already? I can't even remember.
Go engine 110 to Central.
Wait a sec. Listening to Wasco County.
Engine 110.
Yeah, return to quarters.
Dang it. Tell us about how the fire...
Engine 110, return to quarters, 1723.
Tell us about how the fire rate's going. I don't care that the engine's in quarters, but... they switch to their tactical channels. We can't hear what they're saying to each other, just what they're saying to dispatch. And even though it's 74 degrees out, I'm going to run my air conditioning. Streaming ups the power bill for sure, because my computer's generating tremendous heat. We're at a higher quality this year. We're at 1080p and like sharp detail, higher bit rate. And boy, the video card just... Who needs a heater this winter? I swear to God. So I'm trying to timestamp. I'm not doing a great job of this. And so the track fire about done. And then we're checking North California cams. So we're blind. We'll check on the lookout as well. There's not much going on. Let's do a lookout fire. It has a moving picture. Look at those gorgeous clouds. They're pregnant with rain. This is an unusual viewpoint to the north. Actually, it doesn't look like it's to the north from the Death Ball mountain cam. God, if I make a heavy metal band, that's going to be its name. Look at all the moist clouds. There's some smoke. This is Smith Ridge. This is east of the Cascades, looking west, and I'm about to lose my voice. Okay, chat. I'm not going to open my window, see probe. Like I said, it's like muggy. I don't want the humidity to get in here. Thing about the air conditioning is it dehumidifies. Sorry, friends. Unofficial Washington State says there's a new fire. Oh, come on, laryngitis, don't do this. There's a new fire that started near me, near Gold Bar, Washington. I'm curious if you'd have any input of what could happen onto it. Okay. Okay. Let's look. Okay. What's the weather near there like? There's a lot of lightning strikes hitting Washington. So where the hell is Gold Bar? Which one am I supposed to look at? Hey, Roguefish. Looks like Civil Air Patrol is up looking for smokes. It's not. I'm not positive if it's the profile. Yeah. We saw a map cam plane going up 18,000 feet earlier. Okay, the Gold Bar. Where the heck would that be? The Snagtooth Mountain, the Mission, the Twin, the cough drops. Yeah. I need some Ricola, guys. Please donate to my Ricola fund. Gold, you mean Gold Bar? Washington's a place and fires near there? Or that it's called the Gold Bar. LLC May Creek Fire. 28 minutes ago. Okay, let's see if the lightning hit that area. Northeast of Seattle. Isn't it kind of wet? We can pray. Okay. You know, it also helps, like, not talking and going back to bed. I want to. Okay. Yeah. My psychic prediction is it's going to rain it out. That's my official psychic prediction. And they're guaranteed or your money back. So give me money. I'll get it back if it doesn't rain it out, okay? All right. No, I'm kidding. I don't know, but this looks like there's some significant moisture. I think the lightning just probably started it. If I had to take a guess. I don't know if there's moisture near it. Let's do the, whoops, I hit the wrong button. Let's make, I mean, look out the window. Is it, do you have a forecast for rain the rest of the day? I hope so. Wait, location search. Come on. There we go. Gold Bar. Washington. Yeah, there was a lightning strike. And we had started the dang thing. I mean, we got wind from these thunderstorms, but we're also getting some rain and stuff, right? Got some heat over there. And you can see the residual lightning as it goes by. So if it doesn't rain, the wind would push it to the east or southeast. That's where it would try to go. Let me look at your terrain. Snohomish County is only 52 degrees, 72, well, 48 degrees. Am I reading that right? Well, that is in the mountains. 48 degrees. Precipitation unlikely the rest of the day. Wind speed 8, but gusting to 20 from the west-northwest. Rest of today, light rain showers with isolated thunderstorms. Skies cloudy. High of 48. Winds 9. Blah, blah, blah. Less than half an inch of precip possible. Upcoming moderate rain showers with isolated thunderstorms. Skies cloudy. Low temperatures 49. Winds 14 from the west-northwest. Chance of precip 90%. Half to an inch of rain possible. So just pray it rains it out. Okay. It's a hold on to your butts weather kind of day. Dang, look what's going on over in Idaho. They're having some craziness. But at least it looks like wet lightning storms. Even some torrential rain over here. Wow, you see the red? That's some severe thunderstorm stuff. By Grangeville. Wow. So hopefully some of the Idaho fires get rained out. But that's a pretty terrific wind. Okay. Now, I am on the cusp of completely losing my voice. I said you're 20, 30 minutes off the new fires, so crossing your fingers. You're to the west of it, though. I would not worry at all. The wind's blowing to the east. Keith Evans says I'm just north of there in Arlington. It's rained over half an inch here so far. Yeah, that's great. So, yeah, Cat, not hard rain. Remember, Cat, these just started. Like the lightning just started these fires. So they likely started in somewhat damp fuel, which means it might be sputtering. The fact that it's cold up there is great because remember, heat to power the fire triangle, it needs oxygen, fuel, and heat. That's why if you had a fire, even though it was a bonfire and you poured gas all over it, if you were north of the Arctic Circle and it was like negative 40 Fahrenheit, the fire would struggle. Even if you sat there like blowing air at it with a bellows or had an air compressor ready to support the thing, like fire needs heat. So I am completely unconcerned with that from the information I've gained, but I'm reminding you I'm pretty sick. So, okay, we got a new watch duty. Let's attend to that. It's about the track fire down there in California. Fire Eyes or Fierce has mapped the fire at 2.2 acres. Perimeter shown above. Note the perimeters are preliminary and don't reflect structure protection efforts by firefighters on the ground. Yeah, that's a tiny little blip by Keenbrook. Okay, zoom it on down there. Because we're going to San Bernardino. Ring-a-ding-ding. See what I mean? It's a tiny little blip. And starting near the road there, I'm going to guess vehicle type. Fire ignition source. Remember, the train wasn't there. Quit blaming the trains all the time, guys. It's what, 90 degrees with high winds? Somebody could have pulled over in that catalytic converter. Dry grass. You know what I mean? Sometimes there's really weird reasons for fires, such as a mirror and just the right conditions. I once heard of one of those round mirrors, like if you back out of your driveway in rural country, you know, sometimes people put a mirror so people coming around a bend don't run into you as you're backing out of your driveway. I've heard once that one of those was bright and shiny and new, and it just happened to be in the perfect spot, and this little the parabellum effect or whatever, like went straight into the dry grass and lit it on fire. So the solution to that was keep the mirror dirty. Like seriously, like throw dirt on it every once in a while. Problem solved. Okay, but every once in a while you get a freak occurrence like that. Citizen Z, welcome. How how high are you? I mean, hi, how are you? Sorry, it's your little icon, you know. Um, I need to spare my voice, so unless there's some sort of a crazy thing I need to track, I believe I should check in with you guys tomorrow. We do not have any new information on the big fires of Oregon. They're still playing whack-a-mole with all the lightning strike fires. We have the two situations, Cottonwood Canyon. We see aircraft on it, but the sheriff's office is not telling us anything. Winslow Road, Doofer, we're listening to the radio. It's not telling us anything. Official sources are not telling us anything. Camp Creek has got rain on it, so that'll help immensely. We had our morning updates for these. We can't see what the hell's going on with Smith River Complex at all, but they're hitting it with aircraft. It's great, especially where they need to. Hope they're making retardant lines and stuff so that they can try to keep it out of the Biscuit Fire Burn Scar. They also did a little bit of help to try to keep it out of O'Brien and the Illinois Valley, which is great. We got these north winds. Now tomorrow's going to be a big day. Tomorrow is a red flag day from Sacramento to Redding. I'll show you guys on the map. So hold on to your butts situation. This is our red flag stuff for tomorrow from Redding down past Sacramento and into looks like Lake County. Hold on to your butts, Clear Lake. So looks like for Washington, it's quite a lot of red flag stuff. Spokane, halfway to Mount Vernon. Includes Moses Lake and Lewiston, Dayton, and goes to Moscow, Idaho, Natchez, Soap Lake, basically up to Cooley Dam, almost to Bridgeport. So I need to have a voice tomorrow. I need my rest. Twin Falls, Idaho, Rexburg, all this red flag stuff. And I'm sure you guys want to go look at the hurricane. Debbie Meeks' Idalia means behold the sun. Crazy names for fires and hurricanes. I suddenly like that name now. That sounds cool. I can't remember what Catherine's supposed to mean. What does name Catherine mean? Pure. Origin in Greek. The girl's name of Greek origin. In the Greek world, Katharos, meaning pure. There's several variations, including Catherine and Catherine, different spelling. The Duchess of Cambridge is one of the most famous figures with this name, although she is more commonly known as Kate Middleton. Okay. All right. You heard it here. I'm totally pure, guys. All right. Last call. I have to get off before some crazy thing happens. It means I can't get off. Debbie Meeks, yeah, is here. Good to see you all here. I don't know that we're going to get any new information about whatever's going on with the wildfires in Northern California. They're kind of busy right now. Till tomorrow, they'll just be summarizing what happened today. We don't have good eyes on anything like the lookout. But look, there's water droplets on the lens. Now it could be a little bit of rain, but probably just, the wet clouds and dew stuff, but we'll take it. Now that actually looked like rain on the lens. So a lot of the stuff in Oregon is a little bit in stasis. There's our Death Ball Mountain. Look, it's true rain. Oh, it is rain. Yay. Angel Share says, "Hi, Catherine. Can you talk a bit about the new red flag, especially Napa and Lake County?" Okay, there's a new red flag warning in Napa and Lake County. But yeah, sorry. We can look at NOAA weather and what they're specifically saying. So NOAA weather, I'll just say Clear Lake, California. They'll have a big thing. So for one thing, the excessive heat warning is going on. Oh, that's California desert. What the heck? 7-day forecast for what? Clear Lake? That's Eureka. I said Clear Lake. Lake County. I'm sure this will be relevant to Napa as well, being next door and all that. Currently, it is 87 degrees in Clear Lake. Oh, that's right. The local forecast office is Eureka. Ahem. For Clear Lake, California, currently it is 87 degrees. Your humidity is a horrible 23 degrees. Wind speed is 10 miles an hour out of the west-northwest. The last update was at 5 p.m. today. It's now 5:43. Tonight, widespread haze after 11. Areas of smoke after 11. Clear, with a low around 58. It's breezy with a west-northwest wind, 7 to 16 miles an hour, with gusts up to 23. So don't anybody light any fires. Don't even fart tonight. Wednesday, widespread haze before 11. Areas of smoke before 11 a.m. Sunny with a high near 97 with a north wind 6 to 10 miles an hour. So that's the whole red flag thing. Humidity sucks, the wind sucks, the temperature sucks. Let's see, there's going to be details about the red flag, which you usually have to click on somewhere. It says click here for hazard details information, and it ain't doing nothing. All right. So let me let the computer read this for you.
Strong north winds and low relative humidity values will yield critical fire weather conditions across eastern Lake County during Wednesday. North winds gusting from 25 to 35 miles per hour across exposed ridges and terrain will develop across eastern Lake County during Wednesday morning. Winds will weaken slightly going into Wednesday afternoon, but relative humidity values will fall into the teens during the warmest hours of the day. The end result will be a critical fire weather event occurring across eastern Lake County from late Tuesday evening through early Wednesday evening. CAZ 264-277-300515.
Okay, that's a bunch of gobbledygook. Let's go back here. It says West Mendocino unit that they printed this out at 2:10 today as a bulletin. So, I mean, get that read again.
Red flag warning remains in effect from 11 p.m. this evening to 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time Wednesday. Asterisk wind, north winds gusting from 25 to 35 miles per hour across exposed ridges and terrain. Strongest winds Wednesday morning. Asterisk humidity, relative humidity values falling into the teens during Wednesday afternoon. Asterisk impacts, any fires that develop will spread rapidly. Precautionary preparedness actions. A red flag warning means that critical fire weather conditions are either occurring now, or will shortly. A combination of strong winds, low relative humidity, and warm temperatures can contribute to extreme fire behavior.
Okay, extreme fire
Asterisk
behavior.
impacts.
Shut up. Extreme fire behavior, there's nothing worse. It means maximum. It means stuff like you see on Dixie Fire. Extreme. So hold on to your butts. Lake County and Clear Lake area, Napa have a history of really, really bad fires. So that is why I need to stop now and spare my voice and actually rest. So yeah, PG&E power outages are warning too. I hope they actually do it this time. You know, I'll never forget covering the glass fire in the Napa Bay Area and just praying that PG&E would make good on their promise that if there was a red flag, high winds, and they knew they had rickety lines, which are pretty much everywhere in California, that they would shut off the power during these high winds and red flags. And I was in the middle of talking about that when people said, Shasta County, new fire. And the power lines went down there because there was this half rotted out tree. In fact, it was like 98% rotted and hollow. They had tagged it and flagged it for as a hazard tree next to power lines. They knew about it for like 6 years, something crazy like that. Kept the power lines energized. It fell over, and even though they detected surge, they kept it energized. All of a sudden, we have reports of animals that are half burned up and people dead in their cars, including a mother and her daughter trying to flee the area in Shasta County, and it's because they lied. And it was just a nightmare watching that unfold. So we really hope that they make good on their promise, but in case they don't, hold on to your butts, get ready, go over your own evacuation plans tonight, refresh them, look at the satellite pictures of your neighborhood, note shelter-in-place options if you have to, like where's your nearest swimming pool, pond, baseball diamond, big box store parking lot. You know, where can you walk to if there's a traffic jam? Because you just can't trust PG&E to do this stuff, and they cause most of the town erasing giant fires of California. That one specific corporation does the most damage. So, you know, you think about wildfires and think that they'll happen somewhere else and come near you. Sometimes they happen at the end of your street. So, everybody, hold on to your butts. Here's the general area, including Santa Rosa. But just because it says red flag only here doesn't mean the other counties aren't super vulnerable too. It's just red flag is a very specific set of circumstances. It could be pretty dang fire dangerous everywhere else too. So just everybody be vigilant. You see smoke, report it. Make sure it's reported. Okay, let me go back to chat. Okay, that was last call. Let's see. Yeah, Angel Share says the glass fire is so tragic. We're still recovering from here in St. Helena. Yeah, I meant to go down there and try to document that. It's just when the Dixie and the Keller broke out too. It's like I don't know how many I've got to document now, but it's insane. I hope I helped you at that time. It was cool to see the 747 super tanker save towns like Calistoga. That was great. The Palisades. So everybody stay safe, and I hopefully will be able to rest my voice enough to be with you tomorrow. Try to go to bed soon, and hold on to your butts. Please hit the like button on the way out, and consider donating to PayPal. Even $5 matters right now. Sometimes I do streams like this where I'm dead tired and I'm sick and go on for hours, and there's nothing in the cup at the end of the day. But you know, we'll try to go on. Thank you everybody for being here. Good night and good luck.